Welcome to the Left Hand Back End podcast. I'm Linc, joined by Jeff. Jeff, I have to say this to start the pod. Every time that I send you the Zoom link and I'm just sitting on here on camera waiting for you, and I'm just talking into my microphone all by myself sometimes just to be funny because I never know when you're going to pop on. And then all of a sudden I see Jeff is connecting. And then I see your face pop up and I see you like pull your microphone down to your face. That moment makes me so happy every week.
Dude,
It's so
me
stupid.
too. I like looking at myself when I do it, and I'm like,
Pause.
another day, another microphone pull. Pause.
Okay. Well, we've got an interesting show. Oh, this is gonna be off the rails already. Oh, we got an interesting show. We got some news and notes. We have uh, I a segment that I have had on our show notes for a long time, but I texted Jeff this evening and I was like, "Hey, this is what I want to talk about. So I want to hear your takes because I'm genuinely curious. A hill that you're willing to die on, or just other unpopular takes." And then we have a draft, which I'm going to surprise Jeff with once we get there.
Yeah,
But
I have
as
no idea what
always,
that's gonna be.
news first. Special shout outs this last week. Mother's Day was on Sunday. So shout
Mama's
out
Day,
to all the moms out there,
all the moms.
the moms that birthed us, the moms that nurtured us, the moms that we had crushes on. Jeff?
We all had those. I mean, hey, to be honest, you remember, I know you know when you were growing up in your church ward, all the priests, all of us knew who the moms in the ward that were like that we all, or in the stake even that we saw at
You,
stake
you
events
know,
that we
I
were like,
actually did have
who,
a couple buddies, and they
you
they were
all,
always
everyone
teased.
knows.
They were always
Everyone
teased.
knows.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's like a common thing growing up. You just
it's
know
pretty funny.
with the church, at least you're like, come on, who's the mom? Who are the moms? And you're like, you know. And
Uh,
you all
I
have the same exact answers.
I did not have one, but I knew that my buddy's mom was objectively attractive, and he got teased for it constantly at football practice, and it was I truly felt bad for him, and he was like, "Yeah, I don't care, it's whatever." But shout out to the Johnson family.
So
Um, so shout
I
out to
know who they
our
are.
mothers out there. We appreciate you and we love you. Also shout out to my daughter who turned 3 this last week, and
Whee!
we're having a birthday party for her on Saturday. So pretty excited about that.
I
She's
didn't get her a gift. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I blew up 150 balloons in her room, and so when I picked her up on Sunday and we got back home, I walked her to her room and I recorded her walking into her bedroom to 150 balloons, and her reaction was just, oh, and it was really cute.
Man,
There's probably still 2/3 of them left in there still.
150. How big were they though?
No, I mean, did you not see my post?
No, I didn't
Yeah,
see it.
go check out my
I don't
Instagram.
stalk you on social media.
Well, why not? I stalk you.
I mean, I
Thanks.
don't even post anything, so whatever it is old.
I know.
I don't think I've posted for over a year
I just get excited looking back
since I graduated.
at young Jeffrey.
Honestly, at this point, it's like almost a political stand where I refuse to post out of solidarity with myself because I haven't posted in so long. It's just I've kept the streak going, so I'm just
It's fair.
there's too much to catch up on. So at this point, anyone who looks at my
I mean,
Instagram or something, they'll just see old stuff. And
to
I
be fair,
almost
you and I aren't really posters. We're more of casual observers of social
I
media.
used to be, you go back to my middle school Facebook days, man, you will find some interesting
That's gold.
posts. Interesting.
I have stalked that with you. We went back
It's
one night
very
in
funny.
college and we're just
Very funny.
looking, scrolling back at it, and I
I
was like,
cannot
dude,
believe the cringiest things I've ever
I
said in
can't
my
believe
life
how handsome you
happened
used
during
to
middle
be.
school. I had the Justin Bieber haircut, the bowl cut was beautiful. The flip right in the front. I was
Yeah,
really proud of it.
you used to be so handsome, man.
And then it got so long, my dad said I couldn't pass the sacrament anymore, so I had to get a cut. So
Did
I
he
think like
actually?
you told me you can't have it that long anymore or else you can't. So I was like, all right, fine. So Christy cut it. So
Come on,
shout
Scott.
out Christy, giving me my first real haircut during my middle school ages.
All right. Well, anyways, I the balloons were pretty big. It took me 3 breaths to get them versus like I had the little like hand pump, and It just was a
Cool.
waste of time. So I was just
I
like,
feel like
whatever.
Phyllis. Pump faster.
Faster, fellas. Yeah, pretty much like that.
Pump it.
And then final shout out before I pass to you, Jeff. Bentley, my brother, who got a shout out last week for introducing us to
Fishman.
the VHS. Um, he turned 24 this last week, so
Million dollar
shout out to
baby turned
Bentley.
24. Look
He
at
did,
that.
and you know what? He texted me after he heard that, and he was like, "Dude, thanks for the shout out, but also why didn't you give me a shout out for sending you Euphoria?" I was like, "Dude, I was gonna find Euphoria anyways because
With
everybody's
Kendrick
tracking these
Lamar.
dudes." Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I saw it right away.
yeah. I mean, I didn't see it right
That
away,
was
but
all.
like
That's
pretty
not
much
like it
everybody
was
else
a
did.
niche thing. It was
Exactly. And
everywhere.
that's what I told him. He's like, "Well, like I still showed it to you," and I was like, "Dude, I'm not gonna give you a shout out for a mainstream thing. I'm gonna
For
give you a
showing me
shout out
something
for."
that became mainstream a day later.
Yes, I'm gonna shout you out for something that you were way ahead of the trend on, and then all of a sudden it's blown up. And I didn't see any of those posts that you were talking about for
Yeah.
Million Dollar Baby, and now I've seen them a bunch this week.
Now
So
they're all, and well, now companies are using them in their ads, and like it's starting to
careful,
gain commercial. Like
don't
they're
say
gonna be on
ads.
the radio more. Sorry.
Yeah.
But
Um. Okay, we got a few pieces of news, but the biggest one that I don't have a strong take on yet, but you told me that this was confirmed.
yeah,
The
this
Office
is. I mean, it's
reboot?
yeah. So it's not a
How?
reboot.
How?
Not a
Well,
reboot.
okay, like a
It's in
not a
the same
reboot,
universe.
but a reintroduction into the
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's a
I don't
it's
want it to
like
happen, truthfully.
no. So here's the take. The take is most shows that do this fail.
Hmm.
Most. Now, like the small select few that it works, the one I think of that was successful was Breaking Bad was out, and that's one of the, best shows that, is rated on IMDb.
Better
But then
Call
they came
Saul.
out with the Better Call Saul, which, it was kind of the perfect storm and the directing was really good. That worked. And it's in the same universe with the same character though.
Yeah,
The Office, which I guess Greg Daniels and the same writers, they've all been wanting to do this for a while. They have a similar idea of a Midwest newspaper company that is struggling, and it's going to be the same mockumentary style, but they're totally different characters, but they are going to be in the same Dunder Mifflin universe. So you know that they're gonna try to sneak in Dunder Mifflin little jokes. But like Steve Carell went on the radio and was like, I'm not gonna be in it. Like,
he was on Colbert.
there's no reason for me to be there. But they were like, oh, this is Midwestern, and you got, Colorado's over there, and he's living there with Holly, so you never know. And he was like, no, but
Yeah,
maybe no. So there's no reason for him. It would just kind of be a slap in the face. I just think it's going to be hard to be original in any way, which is the whole point of why The Office was successful is because it was so original.
but that's also kind of a fascinating thing is that it wasn't original.
It was though.
It was, but it wasn't.
Mockumentaries had been
No, 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 no,
around,
no.
but they were
The Office UK was an established show first.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You
And
know what I mean
they
though.
took the concept and then they Americanized it. So it was
Yeah,
already
but
kind
that's
of
not what I'm
a
talking
spin-off.
about.
I
That's
know,
not what
but
I'm talking about. That idea was a continuation. The Americans did their own version, but it like not barely anything was changed.
yeah.
Like some of the names are almost the same. Like that's original. I'm saying like it's not like they copied a completely different show and then like adapted it to their own style. Like this was The Office was in UK, The Office in America.
Yeah.
And anyway, I just don't think it will be very successful, and I just think it'll
I
kind
don't
of
even
hurt.
want to watch it, truthfully.
I wouldn't. I think it would. I think it's gonna hurt a little bit of the feeling I'll have towards the original Office
Right. Some people
because
say that
I'll start to
seasons
connect them, and you don't want one to tear down the other that's already done so
you don't
well.
want it to taint it.
Whoa,
Some people
better
say that
watch
seasons
it.
8 and 9 ruin The
Nope, not
Office.
real.
I
No,
love seasons 8 and 9
they're
personally.
just disconnected for me. They're their own thing. It
You
was like
just have to take them for what
Season
they
one
are.
is its own thing, and seasons
Yeah.
two through
Yeah.
six, 2 through 7
Right.
are their own thing, and then 8 and 9 are like it's like a part two of The Office because Michael's gone. It's like this other thing is happening, but I still appreciate it.
He likes other things as well.
Other things. Wait, I know that quote.
What is it?
Wait, wait. He likes
other
Other things
things
as
as
well.
well.
Oh, what is that?
Come on, you know
Dude,
who says it,
this
but
is
what is it?
no, I don't know who it is.
Michael Scott says it.
It is Michael. Is this when he's doing, mm, no, is he talking, no, is he talking about magic? Is he
I don't
talking
even.
about, you
Truthfully, I
don't
don't
even
remember.
remember?
I was hoping you
Wow.
would.
Don't
So
even, you can't talk. Don't try to get me to say it while you're stumped
I know.
and you knew.
So
Keep going.
so full disclosure to the lefties out there. Um, I don't know how many times anymore, but through college and like through my first daughter being born, I had seen The Office over 32 times that I counted, and then I just lost track after that point. So like I'd watched the entirety of The Office over 30 times.
Nine
It's
seasons.
it's probably 40 some odd times because I haven't watched it in shoot, I don't even know how many years, 4 years at least. I don't think I've watched it since COVID, really. Um, and Jeff, how many times would you say that you've watched it?
Dude, I wish I could have kept track.
If you had to
Like,
ballpark it,
maybe not that many, but maybe in the high 20s to low 30s.
you probably watched it more intently. I
I've
just had
seen
it on in the
I've seen
background
a
while I was
lot.
doing homework and stuff. It was just background noise. So I wasn't really watching, but like I'd made it through all the seasons pretty much. Um, but Jeff and I
Okay.
used to text each other random trivia. Like we would try to come up with the most obscure lines and character references and all sorts of stuff. And we would text each other. I remember one time you texted me at like 4 in the morning asking me, you're like, all right, it in blah blah blah, what happens here? And I texted you back and I was like, what? How are you alive right now? Like I've never been up this late in my life.
Okay, well, here, I'm gonna do some quick maths for you.
Maths.
Because you said you're about at
Maths.
40.
MAFS.
Maths. Maths. You've watched it, let's say, 40 times all the way
Mm-hmm.
through. All right. We're not gonna count all the random episodes you've seen outside of that. We're just
Sure.
talking all the way through.
Sure. Because
The
I used to
Office,
always do like every Halloween, I would watch all the Halloween episodes. Every Valentine's, I'd watch all the Valentine's episodes, stuff like that too.
yeah. Okay. So The Office is approximately 3,000 out
Golden
or
Ticket.
76. Oh, it's from
Golden
Golden Ticket.
Ticket. He's the man of
Other
mystery.
things as well. That's
Yep.
right.
Yep.
Uh, so 76
Mhm.
hours is how long it'll take you to binge watch the whole show,
Okay.
the normal show. If you did that 40 times, that's 3,000 hours. All right. So 3,000 divided by 24 hours in a day is 12.5. Wait, I'm doing that wrong. 3,000 hours
Divided by
times,
24 hours in a day.
yeah, that would be like watching The Office for 12 and a half straight days.
Just on repeat.
No, no, I'm
That's not
wrong. No, I'm wrong. That's not the right math.
okay. Let's do this again. Sorry, audience, that Jeff's not good
Yeah,
at maths.
I'm not the accountant. All right, you are. You got your degree in this.
I
This
did.
is not my
Well, I
forte.
got
I'm a
my
social
degree in
studies.
the rules of
Okay,
accounting.
3,000 hours,
Okay.
right? Okay, and then we need to know how many times 24 goes into 3,000, right?
So it's 3,000 hours to watch The Office
Divided by
from start to from start
Oh,
to finish. Is
sorry.
that what you're saying?
125. I was missing a decimal place. So it would take you 125 straight days to watch The Office 40 times all the way through.
Cool.
I mean, that's a third of a year. That's four
Yeah, it's
months.
third. It's literally 34%. It's a
It
third
would
of a
take you
year.
4 months to watch The Office that many
So
times
essentially, I have watched
straight, day and
at a
night.
minimum The Office for a third of a year straight, like just that
Yeah,
block of life.
that's
So
incredible. I'm glad we did that math because I really am glad I know that about you.
yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Uh,
Four months of your life has been
I
spent
wish I had
strictly
an award
watching The
for it,
Office.
but I guarantee you, I'm probably only in the top 5%, not in the 1%.
Yeah, there are. I mean, with how many fans there are.
Yeah. So, anyways, that's The Office. We're probably not gonna watch it And sorry, we're probably.
Yeah.
I hope we don't have to talk about it further because that means we haven't watched it. But
Quick recap on our basketball playoff standings.
mm,
I mean, it's looking good. Dallas took a 3-2 lead
yeah,
over OKC, and if I picked that. I picked the Dallas over OKC for that series. So that's looking good. And then Denver and the Timberwolves are playing currently, and I had
looks
Denver
like that's
winning
gonna
that
go to Game
game,
7.
but yeah, where it's looking right now, Timberwolves are putting the work on. So it's gonna be a game 7, which I don't know if I called it for game 7 in 6 or 7 games, but I thought maybe it would. But I have Denver winning. I think that they'll
Yeah,
win
we
that.
we
I
both
just
have Denver winning the finals entirely.
Yeah. No, I have Boston.
Oh, and I took Denver. Cool, cool, cool.
Yeah, you took them. That way we had a tiebreaker there. I just think Boston's gonna have to. Even though right now, I just don't know. I have no
They
idea.
their
They're too
offense looks
inconsistent.
so just out of
They're
sync.
so
It's
inconsistent.
ISO offense right now, but it works somehow. Like they
Yeah.
cannot get past pick and
They
roll
have a lot of
defense.
good pieces, which is what these teams have. The teams that are good have great pieces around them, but
They're
Denver
also
has. They're so very inconsistent.
they
They
just
don't
look like
trust
they're
them.
not even trying and they're still winning. Like they've won, what is it? 7 playoff games so far, or have they won 8? Did they win their series,
Yeah,
or do they have one more game?
they beat the Heat. No, they have one more game. I think they're
Okay,
up
so yeah, they have one more
three
game. So
one.
they've won 7 games in the playoffs so far. They've won 6 of those 7 games. They've won by double digits, and they're literally they look bad, but
Yeah.
they're still winning by double digits. It's crazy.
Well, I
Granted,
might
they did win
have
in game 7
all
last year.
because I also had the Knicks beating the Pacers, or at least I had the Knicks beating the Bucks, but I have the Knicks winning. So if the Knicks win the next one, Boston Celtics move on, Denver wins, and then not Denver, Dallas wins, and then if Denver wins game 7, I will have guessed all 4 Western Conference teams. That will feel real
Okay,
good. West and East. And then you will have to nice cheesecake on
I'm
camera.
like,
You're
part
gonna
of
have to
me
eat
is
it
like kind of
live, baby.
excited, and the other part of me is like, this is the worst
It's
idea.
gonna make you sick,
Yeah,
and it's gonna be awesome. I can't wait.
yeah. Well, in other basketball news, Jokic won the MVP,
Yuck.
so we called that.
I'm fine with it, but I just hate his attitude now. It bothers me so much.
That
The
he's,
nonchalant has gone so tiring.
but that's just who he is.
I don't care. It's so exhausting to hear him badmouth people who get like, get emotional about it. He's like, it is what it is. Like, MVPs are there. And it's like it's one of the great accomplishments that, you know, less than 50 players have ever won an MVP.
And he's won his third.
And he's just won his third, and he's like,
Hey, I'm not gonna let you
okay,
badmouth
come on.
Jokic just because he's super nonchalant about it, but
I don't like the attitude. I mean, at first I was like, oh, that's funny. Then after it's a little bit like it doesn't feel like he appreciates it, or I'm like, he doesn't even care. Like this dude would rather go horse racing and watch it than he would win an MVP. He's the type of guy who will auction it off to get some cigarettes, some like cigars, like afterwards, so he could
some
smoke them. Like
cigarettes.
he'll be like, yeah, I don't need it. Like, what am I gonna use it for?
Ugh.
I just don't
Eh.
like that. I don't like that attitude. Hot
Well,
take. Don't like the
okay.
attitude.
That wasn't the point of what I was trying to say. The point that I was trying to say was that the last that we had texted, Jokic was cooking up Gobert,
Oh yeah, that too.
and Gobert won the depoy, and you were going off, and you had some explicit texts sent to me,
Explicit's a big word.
as in
They were.
you
I had
had
asterisks. All right.
asterisks sent.
You knew what I was wanting to say without me having to say it. It was implied.
You know what I
I
want.
was very upset because it is just everything that I've been thinking and saying just showed up multiple times.
I
Gobert
want I want to read
isn't there
this.
for a game, and he's like their team does better defensively than he probably would have been there. Then he's there and he gets beyond belief by Jokic. Hooked, hooked, like burnt to a crisp. It's
Yeah.
unsanitary to watch him play.
I want to read what you sent to me, but I don't want to get you in trouble with your dad or with your grandma,
I don't,
so I'm
I
not
don't
going
care.
to.
I don't
But
care.
it was truly hilarious. Also, I don't have to slap the explicit tag on this podcast. This is a family-friendly show. But yes, it nothing has been more evident that Wemby should have won the Depoy, and you and I will stand on that hill.
I'll
Is
die on that hill.
that is a hill that we are willing to die on, and that is a professional transition right there, my brother. Let's go, Jeff. What is another hill that you're willing to die on?
And I mean,
I'm
this is
so
always, it's
curious.
funny because the when they normally appear at random moments when I start to have a discussion with someone, and the more I discuss it with them, the more I realize how much I disagree with them, and that maybe I'm in the minority, but I will never give up.
Okay.
And one of them that I talked about and that I just don't think enough people realize, which does seem weird, and it it tricks me all the time, is how many people I see on social media and TikTok and like on TV, actors all talking about different things they do for their workout regimens. And 90 and 95% of them, I guarantee, are on some type of steroid. It is completely unrealistic. I know they are, and there's nothing you can tell me that this, like, if you had the money to go on a type of anabolic steroid and if your job was to look good and to make money from it, tell me you would not do it. It makes you look better. There are lots of them that aren't that really that negative side effects for you, and you can cycle off of it, but it can build you up quickly. There's no way you can tell me that they're not like doing it and then being like, I'm clean, I'm natural. Yeah, I did this all with trainers. You did not put on 40 pounds of muscle in 4 months for Thor and tell me that
I was gonna
you're
say, are you
no
talking
way.
about Thor or are you
I'm talking
talking
about
about
any of
Captain
these people.
America?
Chris Hemsworth, like any of them. The dude who plays Reacher in that new Reacher show, Alan, whatever. There's no way.
Oh, Alan
And
Rickman.
Alan paid paying to turn the page 394.
94. May he rest in peace.
RIP. There's just
Uh,
no way. And I will always stand on it. They will never admit it. And
that's
people
such
who
a
think they're
funny
like,
hill.
no, they have dietitians and personal trainers. That only goes so far. You know how much you have to lift. And our friend Devin lifts every day, constantly. And it takes him so long to build little incremental amounts of muscle. And these people build 10 to 20 pounds in a few months. That is insane. And I will never let someone try to convince me that they're just on a good diet.
It's really funny. I like it.
That's a hill I will die
Uh, I don't disagree with you, and I didn't expect to disagree with you because you and I tend to see similarly. I wouldn't say that we agree on everything, but like we understand where each other is coming from. So I guess I didn't expect to fully disagree with you, but did not expect that. It's
on. I know.
because it
It's
just
not
doesn't
something I would
matter at
it's
all.
it's a big deal to me.
All right, are you ready for my first one? Because I've got two.
I actually don't think I'm ready.
Okay.
And I think I'm gonna disagree with you. I
Sh-
have a feeling that I'm
Should I
gonna disagree with you.
should I go with my softer one then?
No, go with your hardcore one. That's what she said.
Okay, this one. Lots of people that know me know this about me. Um, Jeff, do you know what my favorite animal is?
I don't.
It's a bison.
Oh, isn't that what the dad said to his child when he was leaving for college?
Yeah, he said bison.
Bye, son.
Yeah,
I didn't
and
know that.
and that joke is a catastrophe because the joke is, what did the buffalo say to his kid when he left for school?
Buffaloes
Bison.
aren't bison.
Buffaloes are not bison.
It's such a funny take to have
I live
because
in Colorado.
what
The University of Colorado, their mascot is a
is a
travesty. Their mascot
it's
is not real. It's a lie. Their
okay,
mascot
so
is the buffaloes. Buffaloes don't freaking live in America.
wait, first of all, you're saying buffaloes, but there's no S at the end of buffalo. It's just
Okay,
buffalo.
whatever. I don't
There's
freaking
the
care.
plural of buffalo is buffalo.
I don't care because
You
buffalo are
don't say a herd of
stupid.
buffaloes.
Okay, I've
Uh,
never freaking seen a herd of buffalo. I've seen a herd of bison. I've had bison. I've consumed bison.
there's no
I have,
buffalo over there.
but
Is what you're saying.
there's no
What
such
about
thing
a
as
water
North
buffalo?
American. Those are in Africa.
Yeah, so why are there the Buffalo Bills?
The Because that's named after the city of Buffalo. Not
Not the
Their
actual
mascot is
buffalo.
the Bills. Their
It's
mascot is
so
not
funny.
a bison.
So
I
fun.
guess their mascot is a bison, but like their team name is the
Yeah, it's a
Bills
bison, but why?
because
Because it's
of
a buffalo,
Buffalo. No, it's not.
but it's a bison.
Scientifically speaking, it is a travesty, and I hate our ignorant country for allowing these things to exist.
It's a travesty Kelsey.
Yes, it is. Uh,
That's so funny. I would have never guessed that. That's so
the
funny.
animal itself is correct the way that it looks because that is a bison, and those do live in North America, and they're an amazing, majestic creature, but they are not a buffalo.
I mean, I don't
Absolute
even know how to I
ridiculousness.
can't even argue this point with you because I don't really know the difference, to be honest. I've never gone this deep into a conversation about buffaloes
So
and bison.
bison are or buffalo are more cow-like, and they live in Africa and Asia. Bison live in North America and actually in Europe a little bit too, but I didn't know that until somewhat recently. But what you see at Yellowstone or the University of Colorado's mascot,
Over
or
bison.
yes, those are
They're
bison.
not buffalo.
Correct. That's like calling a leopard a panther. They're different animals. They
Yeah,
might be
because
some,
what? There's a
or no,
panther,
no, let's
there's
see.
a mountain
That's
lion, and
that's
there's
like
a
that's like calling a tiger a panther.
oh yeah, yeah, those are very different.
They're very different. They're in the same familial area, but they are
But
not the same
they're not the
animal.
same.
And it
Uh,
irks me to
that's
no
so
end
funny.
because the the University of Colorado are idiots for saying that their mascot is a buffalo. Like, how can you call yourself an accredited university when you are calling your team the wrong mascot?
Yeah.
I
I'm
hate
sure
it.
you could find a bunch of examples of that though.
I'm sure you could, but it's
Like
my
this,
favorite freaking
you're not the only
animal.
one. You just are passionate about this one because it's your favorite.
Yes. And
Oh,
I
that's
love
so
them so
funny.
much and I'm obsessed with them. And the family friend shout out to Randy and Rhonda Miller who got this for me. It's like black agate or something like that. Um, they got this for me because she knew that was my favorite animal. And then she got me Pendleton socks with little bisons on them. It's pretty
Pendleton.
cute.
Is that the orange? Are they orange?
No,
Oh,
Pendleton's a town in Oregon, and then it's also
yeah.
now a clothing company out of there too.
I just thought their brand was an orangish color.
I don't know. They have their
Maybe it's just green.
their whole thing is kind of like rustic, semi-Native American vibe, like Aztec-y vibe-ish. I don't know. They're pretty cool. Very
Hmm,
expensive, but anyways, that's the first
that's
hill that
funny.
I'm willing to die on. And then the other one's
That's
not as
really
much of a
funny.
hill as it is just kind of an
Uh,
unpopular opinion. But
take.
yeah. All right, I'll let you go
Okay.
next so I can cool down.
Hmm. Okay, well, this one gets me just as heated. And I honestly,
Well, you're also a redhead, so that's easy to have happen.
dude, it happens so often. I get heated over stupid stuff, and it shouldn't, but I have a fiery personality. Uh,
Yeah, you do.
uh, yeah, I do. So this one is maybe you agree, but you don't think you think about it. But
Okay.
this bothers me so much when I hear about it. So much, and there's just no excuse for it. When the older generations, older people use the excuse that technology, they can't keep up with it. They say, "Oh, that young technology, oh, that's the tech, I can't keep up with it. You young folk deal with it." There is zero excuse that anybody over the age of 60 years old should not be able to figure out technology. It is literally built by those people. No, you go look at it. You go look at it and you tell me why that excuse flies for older generations, the ones that can still, do stuff normally. I'm not saying like, they have issues with everyday tasks. I'm saying like over 50 years old. Like my parents, I would go call out my mom right now,
Oh,
who will do stuff and look at things and be like,
shots
I
fired.
don't know how to, I just don't know how to do this. And honestly, there are times I'm like, you gotta know. Like a simple Google search will net you the result. Like what you're saying is solvable by me by the exact way you could do it. I just type in into Google what you're asking and I found
Or
the
better
answer.
yet, just say, "Hey Google."
Yeah, hey Google, this is something that I can do, but it's like a refusal to take any responsibility. And there is nobody that can tell me that there is a good excuse for that because there are 1,000 workarounds for technology to be made simpler, easier. Like the whole point is convenience. And there's no way that nowadays someone can say, "Oh, it's too complex for me." No, they make this for you to make things easier on purpose. They build it for you. They don't build it for 10-year-olds. They're building it for you. 10-year-olds just figure it
Yeah.
out lightning quick.
I guess I'm thinking of my grandparents, and I'm like, they can barely even see their dadgum phones. So
Yeah,
like,
see, that's different. That's like everyday
that's
tasks. I'm
different. But
saying
like
ones that
my
can
dad
do
is,
normal things and just refuse to not do it because it's
yeah.
just out of the realm of they don't want to. They're like, I'll let you young kids deal with that. Like this is the easiest it's ever been. You
I don't
literally click on a button and put your email in, and you can have an entire profile by yourself. You've been
I
using
don't
email for 40 years.
I'm not that bothered by it, but I
You
guess
may
that's
not,
just me.
but it's probably because you haven't been asked a lot of times by many different people to do things that are solvable in 5 seconds by looking it up on Google.
That's just true. That yeah, that's probably true. I just take their phone and I throw it. So
Oh, this?
I'm like, oh,
No.
this? Yeah, let me just chuck it
Yeah.
out of here.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to say Chuck. Taylor.
Oh,
Um,
choose.
well, my other one, and again, it's not as much of a hill I'm willing to die on, but it is an unpopular take. Flowers don't smell that great.
That's a horrible take. That's a horrible take. What an awful take.
Flowers smell okay.
How long have you been alive?
20, 29 years.
How
29
long have
and
flowers existed on this planet?
I'm not saying that flowers smell bad, but people are like, "Oh, flowers are like my favorite smell," or "I love the smell of blah blah blah." I can think of like three flowers that actually smell good.
How many flowers have you smelled in your life? Do you spend time around a lot of flowers? If you don't, then that answers that question right away.
Yeah, I've wasted so much money on flowers.
It's
Shout
not a
out to
waste.
everybody that I've spent money and
I'm
bought
glad
flowers
I'm glad you're
for.
calling it out that you think you wasted money on flowers for your whole life.
No, I did not waste money on flowers because it was a thoughtful gesture and I wanted to buy them something that would make them happy. I just don't think they smell that great.
Oh. Do you
As
think
in,
there's the phrase stop and smell the roses exists because of
roses don't
nothing?
smell good, dude.
They do.
No, they
Smell the
don't.
right roses. You're smelling horrible roses because they're the good roses. You can smell them in the store from across the room.
Dude,
Good
no.
roses smell great. There are
Lilac
some amazing.
lilac smells so good. I love that smell. But
I think that's
most
great.
other flowers, I'm like, it smells like a flower. It doesn't smell
Think about it.
great.
They've evolved over millions of years to attract animals who spread their pollen through their smell and their colors. That is literally what they've been driven to do. I haven't been driven to smell good
I didn't
in
say
my
that they
life.
I didn't say that they didn't smell.
That's their
I just said they
job, and
don't
so they smell
smell
great.
that it doesn't smell as
That's a
good as people
horrible
say that it
take.
does.
I
No.
will never let you live that down. I will
I
send you
I'm
a
fine with it.
flower a day,
Oh, I
and
cannot
I
wait.
will you'll just have these little flowers
And I
arrive
will
at your
and I
house.
will freaking eat them.
You're gonna eat the flower petals.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably because they taste so good. Because they probably smell delicious too.
No.
I mean, people put flowers in tea
Tea.
because they have
And
such a
tea
good
is
smell and flavor.
disgusting.
I mean, you just hate tea, which is I hate tea too, but it doesn't mean that flowers taste bad.
Dude,
They
yes.
do taste good.
Yeah, no, they're bad.
Okay. There's some great smelling flowers out there. You just gotta stop and smell the
There are
roses.
some, and my daughters
Yeah.
enjoy picking flowers,
Some
and I
lilacs.
smell them. But that's one of them that I said that's my mom's favorite flower, and it smells fantastic.
Like you just gotta take a good whiff and then you're
Pause.
the last time I was proven this point was in San Antonio. There's a botanical garden and there's a big special green room that's all sealed off and it's got all these humidifiers in it and it looks like a rainforest and there are flowers coming out the yin yang. And that room was the most peaceful, most amazing smelling room I've ever been in. It was just like heaven. I sat on a bench with Emily and could not leave. I was like, can we just stay in here? I've never smelled a place like that besides
Yeah,
my own bathroom. That's
I
it.
just okay. Thanks, Jeff. Okay, well, I'm happy to hear that your bathroom smells so good.
Yeah. You know, flowers in and out. I got Emily some roses
Poopery.
for some show.
Okay, well,
Yeah,
that's I don't have a good
those are good
transition for
takes.
this.
That's some really good takes. I actually have tons I could talk about because I would do this at work
Okay,
and
we'll
we would
revisit
talk
this.
about takes or hills we would die on and
Yeah, we'll revisit this when we come back. Dang it,
oh
we'll get back to this
oh
topic in maybe every month or every other month kind of thing. I think that'd be kind of fun. But
cool.
if you have any unpopular opinions or hills that you're willing to die on, please let us know. And with that being said, let's get into our draft. Jeffrey.
Yeah, I'm nervous because I was
So
not prepped.
the last several draft ideas that I have put into our show doc and suggested, I was like, hey, let's do this draft. You're like, no, I don't really like that. And I'm like, what the heck? Why? And you're like, well, it could be this, blah, blah, blah. And you just give
Is
me
that what
these.
my voice sounds like? Because that's a horrible impression of me. Do an actual impression of my voice.
I am not
Do
going
it.
to. I'm not
Oh,
going
you
to.
scared? Oh, it's okay. It's all right, little Winkin. You're so scared of doing an impression of me.
Stop.
Why do I sound like Happy Gilmore and Adam Sandler?
Hey,
No.
you. Oh,
So
you,
you're so
you.
scared. He's about you. You
You.
know.
For instance, that is one of our draft ideas is drafting the best comedic actors, but you don't seem to want to do that draft. So I decided that we're just going to rotate back and forth, just springing a draft on the other. That way we can't argue with it.
I actually like that. Anyway,
So
the surprise aspect is fun.
my draft is pretty stupid, but once I decided what I
Don't
wanted to
start
do.
with that after you just tried to defend your other ideas that I
Okay,
shot down, and now you're like, mine's pretty stupid. You can shoot this down.
my other ideas
All
were
right,
good, but this
they
one
were okay.
is just kind of a funny idea. Um, if you do have draft ideas, please let us know. For those of
Hmm.
you that I have
We'd
specifically
love
asked
to
for draft
steal them.
ideas and have not heard them yet,
Yeah, we'll steal them and use them and not
I'm
give you
gonna
credit.
pack my angry eyes just in case.
Max has a draft idea, but you seem to not want to
Yeah, I don't know how I
use it.
feel about your buddy Max.
It's my cousin Max. Get that right.
Well, your buddy cousin, your
My
cousin
buddy
buddy.
cousin Sam, Max.
Anyways, we're gonna draft the best months of the year.
Ah, this
Yeah,
is a good draft.
thank you.
That's a
It's silly
great
because there's
draft.
only
I
12
like this.
choices. Oh,
You know
okay.
what? I really like this because it's just stupid enough, but it's there's some really solid ideas here, and I'd love to hear your background.
Yeah, 100%. So, with that being said,
Ooh.
I'm making you choose first.
Oh, deal.
So, Jeff, with the first overall pick in the May 2024 best months of the year draft, left hand back in draft, what are you
I
taking number one overall?
101. I mean, when you bring that up, I have two right off the bat that I have narrowed down.
Wait, can I
Just
say something?
yes,
There is one that probably should be taken. It's not my 101, but it deserves to be the 101.
just
And
because
I'm curious if that's where you're going with.
because I've had different months for different reasons throughout my life, but not just like personal side, just as part of the year, the weather, or
Yeah. Yeah.
what's
Yeah.
going on in the year. There's like so many different things about this. Uh, but the amount of memories I have and the fun of it and growing up for me, the 101, and you're gonna probably be like, you've got to be joking. 101 for me is December.
That's what I put.
December is the 101. I mean, tell me why it's your 101 first.
It's
Why would it be yours?
I don't even know if it actually is my 101 because December in Oregon is like growing up,
Oh yeah,
childhood.
and Washington, same.
It's just
It's
wet
bleak. It's bleak and wet and
and
cold.
dark
Yeah.
and
But that's like half the
depressing
country. That's half the country's like that,
if you're not from there. Yeah, but especially up in the Northwest.
especially
We
Northwest. Yeah.
we do depression well up there, let me tell you.
Yeah.
But it's the 101 because it is the most wonderful
Just thinking of that song that I would hear on the radio.
100%. I mean it is the most like romantic magical
Dude,
childhood
the
like
time period was just like when I see pictures, like those nostalgic pictures of like people in like with your little desks in your elementary school, like fifth, sixth grade, and you had like you built like little like gingerbread houses, or you'd watch a little movie on the projector, like an old movie, Elf or something or whatever. And then you know that you get out early and there was like assemblies, and then you get home and you have a week and a half off, and then there's maybe a chance of snow. And then, and that's
that's
just
pretty
like
cool.
December, and then going to New Year's leading up to it, like that whole time of year.
It's
School's
exciting.
halfway over. And even now, it's like I get to visit family during Christmas time. It's the time I have enough time off. It's
What's
and in Texas, it's the best because the weather is mild. It's like
Yeah,
60s,
that's fair for you.
50s. Perfect.
So what's kind of funny is that December is the only month that we constantly want to be the exact same as previous years.
True.
You know what I mean? Like the
We
rest of the
want it to
year,
be the
there's so
same.
much fluctuation, but like once it comes to December, once we get to December in the year, we're like, all right, let's do this, let's do this, let's do this, let's trigger all these nostalgic memories, let's redo the same things, let's tell the same stories, let's listen to the same
Yeah.
songs, watch the same movies, and waste money buying each other gifts. No, I'm just kidding. Um,
You love to waste money on stuff, don't you? You regret every single thing you spent on someone else, don't you?
no,
I knew
I
it.
actually have.
You're
I've
such
made
a
my
sleaze
daughter's
bag.
birthday pretty darn special, so I'm very actually happy about that. But
You're very
um,
actually.
yes, I am. So that's the 101. Ranked on a list on my computer right now what 1 through 12 are the best months of the year. So that's just what I'm gonna kind of just go off of. And this might be controversial because it doesn't fully stand out, but I'm going to take April with the 102. I'll write that down first.
Okay.
And at the 103, I'm going to take June.
Dang, good pick. I
Oh
would
no,
have
sorry.
taken June,
The 201.
the 201. I would have taken June first
In
on for
part
you, but
because
but that's a good 1-2 punch.
April is like you're getting out of winter and things are starting to blossom. It's getting pretty. You can actually go start doing the stuff outside. The days are getting longer. So like all of a sudden optimistic Linc just turns on right there and I'm like, "Hey, we're moving here. Like this is not as crappy as it used to be." And as we get later into the draft, I think you'll see why. But
Yeah.
so April's kind of the new beginning. It's Easter. You got basketball is going on. You got the NFL draft. You got disc golf going on. Like all my favorite sports, the Masters is that's in April, right?
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
first week of April.
Yeah. So you got
Right.
like
It's right after March Madness.
you got so many great stuff going on.
Yeah. You have the end of March Madness, you have the Masters, you have Easter, you've got like all this stuff happening.
Yeah. So
That's a great pick. Great pick.
that's why it's my first pick. And then June is my birthday, but also we're kind of skipping May. You can kind of clump May and June together pretty closely, but June is like when you're a kid that's like entering summer.
Yeah.
But
That's what I was gonna say.
before
June for
it's
me was the best.
squelching? That's not the right
Yeah,
word.
don't be squelching anything, all right? I
Before
feel
it's
really
scorching
uncomfortable
hot
hearing you.
outside. Yeah, I apologize. That's the
I
wrong
think
word.
squelching is a word. I just don't think it's
I
that.
don't think I'm using it right. And I hate when I do that. So sorry about that. uh, before it gets
It's
scorching hot.
squelching
So
hot, dude.
June is just really fun. I feel like that's like the beginning of summer. You're making all
Your
these fun
daughter,
plans. My
daughter name is
daughter's named
Junie.
that. My birthday's
June.
in that. It's a great time of year.
It's a great month. And I was gonna pick June with my second if it was available. I
Really.
was assuming probably not. June is such a great month.
I'm
Like it's
so
just I
I
just
am
think of
so
summertime.
vindicated you saying that. So thank
Yeah,
you.
month like music. Stop vindicated. Don't say big words you don't know. Months. Uh,
Vindication.
the music that was coming out around, I mean that would be out around
Drop.
that time was always great. Like just
You get like
bangers,
the
one
summer
after
tracks are
another.
coming are dropping.
They're dropping one by
I
one.
did that one on purpose.
Yeah, you did the little hesitation with the face.
I'm a guy.
Yeah, can't help it. That
Okay.
month is great, but as mine with my second pick, um, which is good, I'm gonna take July
Okay.
because I
Interesting.
mean July it is hot, but Washington, July was actually such a good month. Like all growing up because it
Oh yeah.
wasn't too hot, but it was like some of the best time of the year.
We love
Weather-wise, it
the
was the
Pacific
least amount of
Northwest in the summer.
yeah, it's the best place to live during the summertime for me. Like that's why I
100%.
had Emily. Emily and I lived there for a summer just so she could experience it. I
Mm,
just felt like she
cute.
couldn't. I know. I couldn't let her not experience it because she was used to Texas summers where it was 100 plus with humidity every day.
That
I was
just
like, you
sound
know,
like
it gets to 90 at the most
it's
in
current.
Seattle.
It got up to 73 today here in Colorado,
Oh, that's so nice.
and I was too hot.
Oh yeah, and it was in the 90s this week here
Oof.
with humidity and playing pickleball. It's very hot.
Mm,
So July in Washington was great, and it was the middle of the
yeah.
summer. Still had school was a ways away. School doesn't
Plus
start
the
till
4th of
September.
July is fun. You're making plans,
Yeah, 4th of July is great.
you're in the heat of the summer.
Don't say urine. That's gross.
You are in the heat of your
God.
longest vacation of your childhood.
It's a good time. I miss
Yeah.
July's playing
Lots of
basketball on the
lots of fun
driveway
plans. I like it. Okay, good
and
pick.
visiting
What's your
sometimes. So
third?
July, third pick, a little bias here, but still love it. How close it is November.
Oh,
My
okay,
birthday's in
interesting.
November. Thanksgiving's in November. That whole time period when you were in school leading up to Christmas time, everything starts to move quicker. It's really fun. You get that time off to be. I always had fun family gatherings. A lot of extended family were close by. So November was really fun, and the weather was starting to get colder, so it felt like Christmas was right around the corner,
Yeah.
and so it was really fun. There's a lot of November things.
Okay. Well, uh November was my eighth spot.
Wow. Yeah, and see, my birthday also nostalgia, but like
It
I
does
got
help.
presents in November and then presents at Christmas time. Like it was a double whammy. Harry Potter came out almost every November as when the movies were coming out. I mean, were releasing. So I would go
Oh,
to see the movie
yeah.
around that time every
Yeah,
year
yeah, yeah.
while they were releasing, and I loved it. And so there were so many reasons why November was great. But
Yeah.
I could see how that would not be in other people's tops.
And July was a little bit lower on my list purely because I don't like being hot, and so it was too hot for me. And pretty
Mm.
much my entire July was spent just training and working out in the summer.
Okay, so you've got different connotations
So I was
of
like
July.
working and I was working out and doing football training and all this stuff and trying to practice golf as well. So like I was just used to just being hot and exhausted all the time in
All the
July.
time, yeah.
Whereas like June was kind of like
That's fair.
exciting because it's like that new change for me personally. But
Yeah, very
I
fair.
I'm not gonna hate on the pick. I think it was a good pick. Just it was a little bit lower on my list. For my third pick, I'm going with October. And I'll
Yeah.
tell
I
you
wouldn't have
why.
had it there, but I see why.
We're in the heat of football season in October. I enjoy the decorations for Halloween and candy being everywhere. I'm clearly a child and I love candy. And the weather is getting cooler, like we're falling out of September, right? Because the
Okay,
fall.
all right, all right.
And it's still the fall. Whereas like November to me is more you're starting winter months, but October is still fall, and fall is my favorite season. So that's what I'm going with for my third overall pick. Any objections?
Uh, no objections because I mean Halloween during that time, there's a few things. I get why. October, it's not far enough in the year, and Halloween wasn't like my favorite, but Yeah, I mean, sports wise, yeah, Halloween, like October is a great time.
Yeah, I don't
There's a lot of things
follow
going on.
the MLB that closely, but
College
like
football's going on,
college football, but also
baseball's
MLB
going on.
playoffs is
Yeah,
pretty electric when you
yeah,
get those intense games with actual sold out stadiums.
yeah.
So I don't know.
It's a good time.
I always love October, and it's still good enough weather that I can like disc golf during the day. Like I always wear like a sweatshirt or a flannel because in the morning it's cold, afternoon it's warmer. Then I don't need the sweatshirt flannel. I can just, shed that layer, and I like a nice little crisp air. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um,
Uh,
that's my
Good pick.
third pick. I've got my fourth pick, and I feel like I probably could take May, but it's very similar to June, so I'm kind of passing on that. Um, I'm actually gonna go with September purely
Wow.
because of the kickoff of football season. Again, it's not just scorching hot August because July and August are the two hottest months for me. I
Well,
just
and for
always think
me,
of
I
them
don't
being
know,
super
maybe in
hot.
Oregon it was like that. The school year started in September, and so you were
Same.
excited because you see your
Yep.
friends, you get new outfits, you have, it's just
I
like
didn't
you
have
feel like
those.
you're different. Well, hand-me-downs.
I had new hand-me-downs
Yeah.
from my neighbor across the
I had from my
street.
my sister. Had
Yeah,
earrings and the good stuff.
nice. Well, that's cute. But
September
yeah,
is
I
September is
love
good.
September,
It's respectable. It's
and
right in the middle for me.
I love the start of the NFL season. Like I was listening to a podcast today, and they were talking about the NFL schedule release, and I was just like, man, I can't wait for football to start back up again, dude. The first time you hear like the Sunday night, the Monday night, like those
Welcome
theme
back to
songs,
Sunday Night
you're just
Football.
like the first time in the season, you're like, oh yes, let's go. Like,
You're pumped, and like the hype, you've been waiting for it. Like, oh, I am actually right now. I just got really excited for a second thinking about it because
see what I'm
it's
freaking talking
so
about?
far away, and I'm
Yeah,
so excited.
yeah. But
So
the
great
weather's
pick,
still pretty solid. So I love the fall. It's my favorite season. So I had to take 2 months out of the fall.
very fair. And because you left out May, I'm taking May with my
Good,
fourth.
good.
The time period, it's still good weather. I mean, in Washington, it's a little rainy still, but track season was in May, and so I knew
Golf season.
track. I mean, I didn't have golf at my schools really that much. There was not a lot of golf going on, and I
Mhm.
also wasn't very good at it. So either way,
Well, we know
but
that.
track was fun. Hey, watch it. All right,
Also, I
easy.
I probably every 2 to 3 months watch the video of you cackling at Devin's playing on that hole. Like
That never gets
your
old.
Joker laugh. It's so funny.
Speaking of Devin, he texted me today and said, because he's in Utah for his family thing, and he said, I haven't played golf since um, the fall of 2022, and I just shot a 47 on the
On
back
nine
nine,
holes.
9 holes.
Nice.
And I was like, all right, that's pretty solid for not playing for a couple
And
of
then
years.
and then you just say how many mulligans did you take?
He prides himself on not taking any, which is funny because Devin's other thing is when we're playing pickleball, you get one timeout per game. Each
Hmm,
person gets one timeout to kind of take a breather if they're on a roll.
okay.
And he refuses to ever take a timeout. Like he feels like I feel like he thinks it's beneath him. I was telling him, I was like, hey, you can take a timeout. Like it's okay. This isn't, it's part of the rules. Like everyone gets a timeout during the game to take a breath, take a breather, kind of figure some things out. Like that's normal. It's like basketball. And he was just like, no, it's good. I'm fine. And
Hmm.
since we've been playing, he's never once taken a timeout. And I feel like it makes him feel better about it. Devin, if you watch this, it should make you feel better, dude. You just suck.
Yeah, take it.
Anyway, so
Swallow it.
May, I'll take May.
Okay.
And my
Good. That's good. You should.
and the last one's tough because this just is, I mean, year to year almost, depending
There's
on where
four
I live.
months available, by the way.
Yeah. So we've got January, February, March, and August.
Yep.
And they all have a similar vibe. And for me, it's a tie between August and January. Uh, it's tough, but for a good reason. There's some good things in January. Obviously, January can drag, but there's some good things about January. But I'm gonna take August.
Okay.
But in Washington, August was still pretty solid. The summer wasn't over yet. I had some summer camps in August. We had Boy Scout camp growing up. We had a lot of family get-togethers normally in August right before because that's when everyone was available. We had a beach house. There was a lot of different fun things we could go do. And so I still really loved August, but school was right around the corner, so I was nervous, so I couldn't enjoy part of August.
Yeah.
But I still like August. Texas August is the worst month. That's number
It's
12.
and
It's
that's
the
when
hottest and
and
it's
that's when I
worst.
was pushing the most in terms of sales because it's like
With
right
August,
before we
because
were
you're like,
going
oh, and so you're
back to
dreading it.
school, and
Yeah.
like we had like our big summer competition was like the first week of August. Yeah. But also in high school, that was like daily doubles for football. And so it's just like I just was constantly just exhausted and in a sweat the entire month of August. But it's still fun.
Yeah. Still good.
It's better than the other options available. So I think you made the
And I
right
think I
pick.
know what you're gonna pick there.
I'm going with March.
I didn't think you were gonna take. I thought you'd take January. February. Can we agree February is the worst?
Yes, we can agree. I ranked
February's
it.
the
February was number 12, January is
February's
number
the worst
11,
month.
August was number
Why
10.
is it the worst month for you?
Why is January or why is
No,
March?
why is February the worst
Or
month?
February? I don't know. It just
Yes, you
is.
do. Tell me why. You know why it's the
I don't
worst.
fully know. No, it just
You know why it is for me? Because February is like the Tuesday of the week.
yes, it is.
Monday, it's like a little refreshing because you've had the
You're
weekend
like,
and
all
you're
right,
like,
let me
you're a
get
little
back into
fresh
the swing.
and you kind of get in, it's a little bit dreading it. Then Tuesday, you've already just had work and you still have a whole week left.
You've got 4 more days
You
of work.
still feel exhausted getting to work and you're like, this is what I have to look forward to. This is it.
Yeah.
And you're
Yeah.
just tired. February is still freezing in most places or cold and it's just bleh. There's nothing going on.
It's the
Like
shortest
what's in
month of the year, but
February?
it sure doesn't feel like it.
What oh brother. What is it? Do we have Valentine's Day? Which historically is just like
The worst
bleh?
holiday.
Who loves Valentine's Day
Valentine's
besides
Day.
people who get everything got for them?
Oh, I
Hot
wonder
take.
why guys don't like it.
I wonder why guys don't like it because we have to do everything. Ooh,
There's there's
hot
so
take.
much pressure put
I'm
on
gonna
it.
get so canceled
I
for this. I love it.
I couldn't
I'm
tell you
gonna
the
get stricken from the record.
I couldn't tell you the last time I had a good Valentine's Day. Let me tell you. Woof.
You told me the last one.
I know.
Whoops.
Oh shoot. Oh,
I couldn't help it.
that's so funny. So the reason I went March over January personally was because as a kid growing up, like you get out of Christmas break, it's super exciting, but then you're like, oh, I have to go back to school, and you feel like there's still a lot of school left in the year. Whereas March was like the beginning of golf season for me. Yeah, it was kind of crummy weather, but like I was beginning the train of being like optimistic for the next like few months of good weather, of golf,
Spring
of
break was coming up.
spring break. Is the Masters in March or in April? I think it's
April.
in April.
Yeah, it's
And it's
after
the
March Madness.
Masters.
Remember?
Oh, March Madness. Great reason why March is good. But
March Madness
there
is at
is
the very tail end of March, so you get some good
yeah.
there. Yeah, there's some stuff to it.
Yep, it's always the first full week of April. That's right. So,
Yeah, there's still
which
NBA
is
games going
that's what I took
on.
with my first pick. So March is kind of like the lead up to my number one overall pick, which is great. And just like you had November as your lead up to your number one overall pick. So to recap our teams, Jeff, you have December, July, November, May, and August. I think it's a great team.
It's all right for what it was. I like what I have.
Yep.
I'm sad I didn't get June.
Or
But
October.
other than that, October, it's all right. For the
And
spot it was, it could have gone either way.
sure. And then my team is April, June, October, September, and March. I'm stoked with my team. Not gonna lie.
That's a good team. You have a very summery team, like more warm weather, it feels
Nope,
like.
I have a spring and a fall team. I have March, April, June, September, October,
Oh, yeah, and I have July, August, but then I also have December, January,
and May.
and May.
Yep. So you
I'm
got
kind of all over.
one spring, 2 summers, and two
So I'm
winters.
I'm very summer winter and you're very
I'm
spring
spring fall,
fall.
which
That's
is
funny.
those are my
That's so
favorite
funny.
seasons is spring and fall. I like the change. I don't like just I don't like being hot.
I know. Look at you.
Yeah, I'm working with what I got, man. Come on.
Oh,
I was once
stick
recently
that in your
told,
pipe and
hey,
smoke it.
hey, I was once recently told I was a 6.5, and I said, In school, that rounds up to 7. So suck it.
And you said you're a Denver 6.5, but you're a Seattle 3.5. You know, because you know how many people are attractive in Seattle. All
Yeah,
those
I
homeless
I
people.
don't I can't think of a single
Probably at
one.
least a million. At least a million
A
homeless
milli?
people. Only homeless people.
A
Million.
milli?
A milli.
All right. Well,
Well, great draft. I
great
really
draft.
like that draft. That's a fun one. I think that's one of your
Um
better drafts you've come up with. I mean, created. My bad.
well, I'm now looking forward to this being our thing where we're just gonna
A surprise draft.
surprise the draft on the other person, and then we just have to think on our feet. However, if we do need some time to think about it in advance, then obviously we'll do that. But I think it'll be fun
Most of the
to.
time, these drafts should be able to be done just on the fly,
True, it's just
on
the
the
two of
Marty
us.
McFly.
It's just the two of us. But if
Just
we
the
have,
two of us.
ooh, Jeff, look at us.
We can make it if we. Is this podcast number 10 for us or
Yeah,
11?
look at us. We hit a.
We've hit it. We've
I
hit
mean, let
double
me.
ditch.
Yeah, I'll double check my RSS feed. Those of you listening will be able to see that within the actual comments. So, or
Cool.
not the comments, the show title. But, anyways, we appreciate y'all. So, thank you for listening.
Yeah.
Thank you
Those of you
for
who do.
uh hanging on with us to the draft. If you've got yes, this is number 10. So if you've got any
Wow.
draft ideas or any other hills you're willing to die on or other topics that you want us to debate or
Keep that
talk
in the
about,
rotation because I'll have other topics that I want to discuss with you
me
and
too.
see
Those were
because
the
I'm
two that
very
I've just
interested.
been I knew
Mulling
that I
over.
didn't share with you. And I felt this way for a good time now. But
You just needed to let it out.
yeah. Anyways, share with your grandma and share it with another friend that you think could use some stupid banter from some silly boys. So, Jeff, final word.
Final word is Nuggets winning by 45, 35 points. Um, actually 45 points. Uh, and can't wait for game 7.
You
Me
mean
and you, we got that
Timberwolves won
cheat
by
cake.
45 points?
Timberwolves won. Sorry.
Come on. Come on, Jeff. It was
Timberwolves
the
beat the
last this
Denver.
is the last word. Keep it together, man.
So, in essence, to reiterate and recap, the the summing of all of our thoughts. Uh,
Lefties out.
I mean,